recording.
So
Great way to start.
see, does anyone remember what we did last time?
We got in contact with Ilithar Snow, started planning our move, and Jin suggested assassinating one of the Clasp's henchmen in order to try and make the, what are they called? The local guys, the Shade Watch, look bad in order to disrupt their negotiations.
Yeah, I think I missed that game, but yeah, so this is a catch up for me. Obviously,
Yeah, you met a few people who got you in contact actually with the bar Tilter, and after you actually used suggestion on him, Jin, he trusted you and said about his plan tonight to get a little bit more information about the class members and where they staying and which room. And you actually even talked about meeting after that to give you the information so you can try to make the Shades Watch look bad. And as we start now, a few hours after your meeting with Ilita, you wait until his performance.
well, what feedback from you, Colin?
What was that?
Background on Cosmos, and it stopped as soon as he muted himself.
So you wait a few hours for Ilita to finish his show. And are you doing anything specific in those few hours?
Jin is getting in position so that he doesn't have to try and do it last moment.
Okay,
Find a
so
good
you
place
go,
with a view of the window where he can stay hidden until the time's right to take the shot.
Me and
well, he still hasn't gave you the information in which room are they.
Right, we're still waiting on that.
He's he's still playing the show in the tavern. So anything specific? Anyone?
I don't know. I mean, what guys? What do you reckon I should do roughly? Because obviously, I'm not fully knowing what's fully going on,
I would say
other than we're assassinating someone.
Macalif and Summer, along with Shade, would have taken the opportunity to kind of maybe.
I suppose I've got decent armor and that, so I'd probably be standing by for anything to happen, to rush forwards and defend or anything like that.
Well, as far as I'm aware, most of this is on Jin to get the shot off and not get caught.
Okay.
Yeah, this was almost like a covert kind of operation, not to give away our area. I would say that Macalif and Jin would spend some time on a disguise leading up to the event.
Right. We're going to work on that.
Before.
What's the plan for retreating?
Well, it's only really Jin that needs to retreat, but we've counteracted that. We would dress Jin in a disguise during the attempt of the attack for him to then have time to run away and disrobe from the disguise, leaving people that if anyone did witness the attack, they would be looking for someone else and not for someone that looks like Jin.
Okay.
As far as the disguise goes, Jin can take care of most of that simply by taking off his coat and hat.
Sure.
He'll leave those with Macalif.
Corridin, if you want, it could be, I know, just, well, would it be suspicious if I was there to like enjoy the show or anything? I could even possibly, if there is a chase or something, just kind of misdirect the people and be like, oh, he went that way.
I'm happy to play like the bumbling fool and run interference. Is that the way to describe it? Run interference. Yeah, because I mean, I could use Kega to scare some people and make a mob if need be,
Sure.
like a smoke bomb.
We discussed probably with Summer that we can run like an exterior check to make sure like there's no outside interference as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I can always, if there is a chase, I can always cast sleep. Possibly something like that. Just if there is, if
Well,
my
if you
distraction doesn't go to plan.
Well, if you do have to resort to that, make sure you don't get seen, because that's very clearly a intentional thing rather than something that could be passed off as an accident.
Oh no, that's it. I mean, it would be being like a back alley or something, not directly in the open.
Would we say, hold on. No, that's fine.
If that is so, a few hours later, you're meeting with Hilita back at his place. Uh, he comes in looking a bit drunk, but the moment he closed the door behind, you see this drunk expression just going off, and he's like, "Okay, I've got some information about you." And he looks at Jin. The room of the three class members is on the second floor of the tavern, looking south. Third window on the right.
All right.
Also,
And
keep in mind there are a lot of Shades Watch around.
good to
I
know.
mean, it's even suspicious for the normal people.
That means we need a good vantage point.
What building is across the street on the south?
On the south, there is a small house you can use if you can climb on the roof.
I was really hoping for a business, but we'll make do.
Uh, the leader, the one that is actually doing the negotiations, or at least I think it's her, is a female half-elven woman. And her two guards are actually just human. They look like Turks.
Right, and the plan is
Pretty
to
much.
not
They're
shoot her because there's a chance of it going too well, and we don't want to outright kill her. We want the negotiations to break down, so I'll be aiming for one of the other.
Yeah, they have only one room, so the three of them are in the same room.
Makes sense.
So off you go, and he pushes you a bit, not rudely or with any force, more like a gesture.
All right, and oh, there was one other thing I wanted to do, if possible.
Yep.
Could I have used my alchemist supplies to darken my weapon so that there's no gleam of light again?
Hmm. And how would you do that?
Basically, just covering it with things like soot or other dark materials that would stick to it well enough to keep it from shining in torchlight.
Okay, you roll proficiency plus dexterity for this.
All right. 20.
Yeah, you take the better of 5 minutes to actually cover it good. You're pretty sure it will not light up in any light. It will not shine.
All right, sweet. But yeah, once that's taken care of, I will go ahead and make my way towards the house. As stealthily as possible, of course.
Okay, roll a stealth check for that.
As Jin is trying to do that,
26. Sorry to interrupt there. I was just
sorry.
really excited about that.
I'd like to send Shade on to, or as we get there, in preparation, have Shade on the roof of the building above the window, and when I need to, have him cause a lot of noise as a distraction for them to perhaps come to the window, because even though we know which window it is, we may not necessarily get the attention of the people to get close enough to get a good view. But if Shade created a distraction for them to perhaps come to the window and look up upon their own roof, like to see, I would of course have this advice from Jin to see if he's happy or feels that that's a good idea.
Lana can help with that as well. Go and sit up there with Shade as a bird and help cause as big as a ruckus as possible.
Well, just make sure to wait until after the shot takes place, because otherwise you'd just be drawing attention.
Sure.
That's better for the getaway than the approach.
As you approach the beheaded hound, as Ilita said the name of the tavern, it is positioned on a small market inside the town. You see in front of the tavern, the merchant stand standing empty right now, and a small square, maybe around 50 by 30 feet. In front of the stands, there are a few stationary torches there to light up at night the whole square. The entrance to the tavern is on on the square itself, but that's on the north side.
Could I possibly use thermaturgy to blow out the candles?
They're actually like braziers.
Okay.
So you can dim them a little bit more.
Yeah, I'd probably do that in time with when Jin's in position and prepared.
He said that was the north side. I'm going around to the south side.
Okay.
Yeah, behind the tavern, there are clusters of small houses, one floor each. But if you get to the roof of the closest to the tavern, it will be around probably 25 to 30 feet from the window that you're actually aiming at.
More than close enough.
Even you can go even on the one behind that, it will be still around 50 to 60 feet. So
About that's as long as I'm within 60 feet, that gives me the optimum. So I'll take the second one back.
okay, you can see you're around probably 55, 60 feet from the window itself. Uh, Roll a perception check as you climb up.
All right. Not good. 7.
Yeah, you can see the window itself, but inside it's a bit. The lights are too dimmed to actually see a lot.
I do
Uh,
have I do have dark
you,
vision up to 60 feet, so
Ye-
light should not be.
yeah, I know. But you cannot exactly make out the shapes who is who. You see
All
three
right.
shapes moving inside.
Is it because of the perspex of the window, or
Yeah, I am just going to aim for the biggest one then, or whichever one seems the biggest.
Okay, you do also notice that around the tavern, and as you passed by, you've seen a lot of Shades Watch. You've seen three three positioned at the back. You've seen four others sitting on one side, and there are at least six in front of the tavern. So it looks like they've put a lot of resource into protecting this tavern.
Yep, but they didn't make their perimeter wide enough.
No one said they're smart.
Agreed.
So you're on the roof.
Yep, I'm gonna try
What
and aim for whichever figure I think is the biggest one, and I am going to start by dropping a blood curse on them. Blood curse,
Okay.
meaning that if I hit this on my first shot, it will take double damage from my right damage.
Does it have a save?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just a if I hit thing. I'm not going to amplify it because I doubt they have electricity resistance. So just going with the basic effect. I'm also, of course,
Okay.
activating my Crimson Right.
And
And then I'm going to take the shot.
as soon as the
Okay.
shot takes place, Shade will start crowing.
I would have advantage since this is a surprise attack, correct?
it is. By the way, no one notices shades.
It only happened once the shot takes place.
Oh, okay.
Does a 23 hit them?
Was that with advantage?
Yes, it was.
Yes, it does. Roll damage including sneak attack.
And I need to roll right to the storm twice because that got doubled.
Yep.
All right, so that is 14 piercing, 6 lightning damage. So 20 damage total.
Nice. You all of you hear this loud, echoing sound like an explosion of fire, explosion of something. Not a big one, a small one, but still you can hear it echoing through the town. As Jin, you see the bullets piercing through the window, hitting its mark right above the heart in the shoulder, and you hear a muffled as you see one of the figures clutching down. He is alive,
It
but
would
Doesn't
be
that
it
mean
would
that
be this time that Shade like flies in front of the window, flapping its wings and just cawing like crazy, like it's
Yeah,
being attacked.
and as soon as I've pulled the trigger, I'm turning around and booking it down this backside of the building and away from the scene.
okay, as Shade starts calling around, just making noise and gathering attention, you see the Shades watch around the tavern, just starting to yell orders and spreading through the streets to see what happened and where did this noise came from. As this happens, Jin, because you're the one escaping, first roll me a stealth check.
Would he get advantage as Shade is up at the window, actually like flapping his wings, trying to block their view?
To
It
be
is
fair,
more
I'm
for
also
the class.
rushing away, so at worst it would be normal, or at best it would be normal.
I mean, the stealth check is for the other guards, not for the class members.
Okay.
Natural 20.
Okay. Good. Uh, how much
I built this character for one thing.
with the natural 20? How much is it?
That's a total of 27.
Okay. You you jump down from the house, just sneaking in the first shadow you see, slithering away from the house you just took the shot from. You hear the commotion that was caused by your shot. You hear guards running around, but you walk calmly by the side of a wall without actually anyone seeing you or not seeing you. What are the others doing?
Well, we're not anywhere like nearby. I would say we calmly are. Me and someone would be together, I would assume. Just I don't know, leaning against a corner on the um, eastern side of the building, making sure that people can see us, but just that we're there. Just doing like a perimeter search of that sort of corner of the building. Just playing it cool, leaning up against the wall.
Corridin will be Jirak.
Yeah, I was going to say we would probably be like maybe a couple of blocks away, mostly just listening out to hear the inevitable explosion, and then just assuming that's a job well done. If we hear it otherwise, then we can do something. But if there's no need to, start a riot, then there's no need to incriminate ourselves.
Yeah.
So you do hear the shot. You hear shades making loud noises. Speech is not with me today. Uh, you hear the commotion of the guards running and yelling things like, "What happened? Who did that? Go search there!" And they're just spreading throughout, mainly in a south-ish direction. because they're not sure where this explosion came from. So they're searching a big perimeter on the south side.
Lan is still sat on top of a building, so if any of the Shade Watch go anywhere near Jin or any of the team trying to incriminate them, she's just going to fly down and attack.
Roll a perception check to see where Jin went, actually.
It's 21.
Even you lose sight of him as he gets down from the building. Last time you saw him, he slipped into a shadow and then he was just gone.
So if I hear a commotion, I'll fly over and then see what happens.
Okay, Jin, where are you heading?
First I would be putting some distance between me and the pursuers because they're going to take time to search. Then I would circle around to the east, back towards the rest of the.
You did not talk about a rendezvous point, right?
Well, in that case, I'd probably head back to the tavern we've been staying at. Seems less suspicious than meeting back up with the bard tonight.
Okay. Roll another stealth check as you exit the perimeter that they're set.
17.
Okay, you do manage to sneak around the searching parties. You exit the perimeter and you find your way back to the blocking copper without any trouble following you. What about the
Probably after we see that there's no sounds of commotion, there's no sounds of like a fight taking place, I think we would naturally assume to head back to the tavern. Staggered, of course, because if like 6 adventurers just decide to all arrive at the same time, it looks a bit suspicious.
Okay. Lana?
Oh no! Another thing's happening, so I'll go back to towards a tavern. Found an alleyway to change back and walk in.
Corridor will kind of detour to where the temples are, and just kind of then walk to where we're staying from there. Just to not add to any confusion or anything, just to anyone following or anything like that.
I will not enter the tavern as soon as I get there. I will wait until I see Makalith to get my coat and hat back first.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we were just I guess me and someone would just casually, playfully kind of but cautiously return to the tavern, thinking along the same lines that that's likely where everyone is likely to rejoin. And yeah, if I see Jin outside, I'll return his hat and his coat.
No need to have the bartender ask questions about the disguise.
Indeed.
Okay, so in the next half an hour, all of you gather one by one inside the tavern, sitting in your respective rooms or down at a table, maybe.
At the
Jin's
table, I
gonna
guess.
Jin's gonna grab a drink and kind of make small talk with the bartender about having a headache from the commotion that's going on outside.
I mean, the commotion is a bit far from your tavern. It's a good, probably 20, 25 blocks away.
All right then. In that case, just grab a drink and then head up to my room.
Okay. So you gather. Are you doing anything else, or you're taking a long rest?
Well, definitely getting my
Okay.
disguise all taken off first.
Yeah, of course.
Just because I don't think anyone spotted me doesn't mean I should take chances.
Corridor will stay downstairs just for whilst everyone goes upstairs, just to yeah, as Jin said, it might not have been it might not have seen anyone. Just sit down just to see if any shades watch or anything do enter the or the building, should I say.
Okay, so you do wait an hour. You drink 2 beers, and no one comes in actually asking questions. Then you all go back to your rooms, take a good night's sleep, and in the morning you meet downstairs for breakfast. After a successful sniper operation, let's say.
So I think we need to go pay our bard friend a visit today and see if he's putting on a show anytime.
Sounds like a plan. It's best we see what kind of impact our night has had.
Just to let you know, you do know that the meeting is supposed to happen today.
Exactly. That's why we need to meet up with him and figure out what the plan is.
Okay, as you finish your breakfast and you go straight to Ilita's house, uh, you knock on the door. Then he opens the door, smiling. When he sees you, his smile just disappears. And he's like, "Come in."
So, any news of our mutual acquaintances?
The moment you roll in and he closes the door behind you, he turns to you, Jin, and he's like, "How could you? Why did you use spells on me?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
How could you use a spell on me?"
Oh, it was just to smooth things along a bit. We're still working towards the same goal, so I don't think there should be any long-term issue.
And how can I be sure about that?
I think our actions last night should be proof enough.
They did prove something, but I still don't trust you. And as he points at you, and he puts his finger on your chest. I still don't trust you. I have a little trust to the others as he takes a look at the others.
Well,
And
whether you
don't
have
try to pull this on me again.
whether you have trust for us or not, our goal is the same. As long as we succeed and actions are taken, we can either be friends at the end or we can part ways. But I hope in the meantime at least we can work together. It would make things a lot easier.
He he looks at you. He's like, I do hope so. And he starts walking around the room. And you see him pushing a piece of brick on the fireplace as the fireplace opens as a door. Come, come and meet the others.
The second fireplace that opens up, revealing more. Must be a common build within the city.
There must be like a specialist fireplace staircase maker making fucking bank. Every house comes pre-fitted with a staircase fireplace.
So yeah, you traverse the staircase leading down. This time it's not a vertical drop. It's a normal staircase that leads down into some kind of a basement, maybe. You get the sense of the same architecture inside as the one that was in Geralt's place. By this time, the dwarf Corridon, roll me a history check with advantage.
Stone cutting.
Yep.
I don't think that's a history check.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why that did that. Bear with me a sec.
Roll me a history check. Shoots his light crossbow.
That's it. 17.
As you look the architecture, you do recognize it as dwarven, but it's pretty ancient. There are probably some kind of dwarven underground facility or something beneath the city. And they're using it as secret rooms inside some of the houses.
Okay. Go on.
So as you walk down, you enter a room that's around 50 by 50 feet. It has a few tables with people sitting on them. You count a dozen of people, mainly young men. Probably some of them are farmers. As you look, they're a little bit tanned and with scruffy clothing. Some of them, one of them looks like a blacksmith because he's still wearing his apron and his hammer in hand. Uh, they do see like sturdy, muscular people, but you do not count them as a fighting force. most likely a commoner crowd. Iliter, as Iliter comes in first, he says, "Everyone, welcome our new friends."
Jin just grins.
This
Jin just
one-
grins at the way he says that.
This one, as he points at Jin, is the one who caused all the commotion last night. Under my, let's not say orders, because orders is a bit too heavy of a word, but let's say we
Direction.
cooperated on that. Jin, you do receive a round of clapping from all the people. Some of them come to you and tap you on the shoulder, say, "Good job."
He seems
The others
mildly
say, "Great job."
uncomfortable with all the attention.
You're greeted as a hero, maybe?
Again, mildly uncomfortable with all the attention. He's used to working from the shadows. Doesn't like run and hide or anything like that, just kind of like a grin slowly turning into a grimace type of.
Okay, as they sit back in, he points you at a few empty chairs and says, "Take a seat." As, as you sit down, I guess all of you sit down.
I will
He-
stand next to the chair that Summer decides to sit.
Jin will
Corridor.
sit down.
Corridor was just going to wander the room, just admiring the stonework.
Lana's gonna try and blend into the shadows as far back as she can from people.
I'm gonna sit.
Okay, now, as everyone is here, and he pulls out from a chest some big pergament-like things. And as he unfolds them on the table, you see plans of buildings. This, he points at the first one, is the first god tower that we think they're going to hold the meeting in. The meeting is probably going to happen on the second floor in this room, as he points a rather big room, probably 60 by 40, covering almost the whole floor of the guard tower. It's most likely to happen here. This, as he unfolds another one, is the other guard tower that is possible to hold the meeting. They've stationed people in front both of them, so especially after last night, the guards are doubled. So we're not sure in which one it is going to happen. So,
Divide and
this
conquer.
what?
Divide and conquer then.
Yes. I mean, the 6 of you, as he points at you, seem more capable of the 12 of them. No offense, as he says it. But they at least know their ways around the blade. So I'll lead the 12 into into this guard tower, and as he points the second one, and the 6 of you, I want you to go into the first one. I'm leaving the planning to you, as I don't know how you work as a team, and what what's inside your heads at all. So this one, as he points the first, is located near the tavern that last night they were standing. It's a few blocks from it, while the other one is located near the tavern you are staying.
How long roughly would it be? Would it take for us to go if we were to go to this first tower where the thing's being held? How long would it take us to run to the other tower?
It's a bit of a run. It's probably between 12 and 16 blocks, but I'm sure you're capable of running.
What about possibly some kind of form of transport we could have just tucked away, that if it does go sideways, we could use that to get to the other tower quicker?
One of the peasant clowns stands up. I can deliver horses if you need.
What do you guys think?
I think we won't know until we get there.
Would it be worth just to have horses to the side just in case?
Well, Lana can turn into a horse, I assume, and I can ride Kega. So that's only 3 we need to worry about.
Yeah.
So it will be a quick, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look too
We'll need
conspicuous.
exactly. Yeah, there's not just going to be a gang of 6 horses just waiting, like,
Yeah.
outside the scene of the crime.
Yeah, so it'd just be like a couple horses, which shouldn't be too out of place.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. So Cardinal will say we'll have 3 horses, just maybe a block away from the tower.
Okay, I can provide that. The bot looks at you. Anything else you need?
Do we have any idea of the skills that these people are equipped with?
I mean, they're mainly thugs and scoundrels.
What
Some
about
of them would appreciate bang.
sorry?
I'm more worried about the class members.
I still think it'd be better if we wait until the meeting's over, then hit the leadership after the class leave.
Yeah, I think if we hit them when during the meeting, you're going to be dealing with the clasp and the shade.
So we wait until the clasp leave.
I reckon we should post up nearby.
Oh, here's a question.
Yeah.
The towers, how far away are they from each other?
Quite a run by all.
Yeah, that's why we're getting horses.
12
Oh,
to 16 blocks.
that's trying to navigate city streets. I'm talking straight line.
Straight line? Hmm.
as the crow
Probably
flies?
a few 100 feet.
My thunder cannon has a range of 150/500. So if it turns out we do need to go to the, if it turns out we clear out the first tower and it's the wrong one and we need to get to the second one, Jin might be able to stay at the first tower and shoot from.
Yes, it's true. But do you have a oh, what was the word?
I do not have sharpshooter, so I would be at disadvantage.
Yeah, I know about the disadvantage, but what did you call the thing that
Oh, a
turns
sight,
into
a scope.
Yeah, the scope.
I assume that's part of the weapon. That's why it has a range like that.
Okay, let's say it has a scope on it.
What if I'm only thinking if we do wait until after the meeting, if we are waiting outside the wrong tower, would it be worth having probably the group split to one to each, like watching each tower, like one group each, and obviously making some kind of signal?
If I may intervene, I could have shade at one tower. We could be midway between both towers. If it's only a few 100 feet or so.
Yes.
I could
Keep in mind we have to navigate city streets, and I doubt it's a straight line between the two.
But if we're midway, it should be equal measure between one and the other. I could have shade look.
We're already splitting up. There's the 6 of us going into one, 12 of them going to the other.
Indeed.
I was going to suggest trying to bring them both down at the same time. Like physically, the whole building. Boom.
And do you have a means of doing that?
No.
Dear
Punching
sister.
things can only get you so far.
Imagine how cool that would be.
Punch the building into rubble.
If I had more time, I might be able to come up with something, but it would probably take more than a day.
I like the idea, but I don't think any of us is capable of bringing the tower down.
Ow.
If
we had a look in both buildings, we would know which one to prioritize.
How long have we got until the meeting?
The thing is that this might be the only time we will be able to see the leader of the Shades Watch.
Right. I'm thinking, as Jim was right. We are splitting up. The 12 of them are going to one, and we're going to the other. What if, like you said, what's the distance Shade can be away from you?
Well, shade can be any distance away from me, but in terms of me seeing through shade, as I am capable of doing, I'm sure, if I recall,
because I'm thinking if even if you can't see him, he can always come back and alert us if we're in the wrong tower.
So if
he will have to be within 100 feet of me if I'm to see through his eyes, although I could still have him. Oh, no. In order to communicate or see telepathically, he would have to be within 100 feet.
No, if you could, yeah, just go on, Jim.
Here's an idea. Gaplana, can you assume flying form?
Sorry, is that to me?
I know. Yes, I know you can turn into animals. Can you turn into ones that can fly?
Yeah, Eagle, hawk, crow, raven. What's that?
So perhaps we could have Shade staying with the other group and Gaplana waiting in the middle. That way we could have a sort of a relay so that whichever group is in the wrong place can group up faster.
That could be good. That could be good.
That's a good shout.
We have if we have 3 horses, we can always ask them for just one more.
That way, Shade doesn't have to be able to communicate directly, but if Gaplana suddenly sees Shade booking it towards her, she'll know that our group's in the wrong spot. And if our group is in the right spot, and Gaplana suddenly hears fighting over in our direction, she can fly over to the other group and alert.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. I reckon that's a good plan.
Definitely.
Makes sense.
So should we have an extra horse? Because obviously I know Goplar can turn into a horse, but if she's halfway,
Yes, we would need an extra horse.
yeah. So we have an extra horse. Corridon will ask for an extra horse. Say he made a mistake. We'll need 4, and also, is there any provisions, i.e., anything to help healing? Anything like that, any potions or anything that they could be given to us?
I think that the Shade Watch has sort of requisitioned all of the healing potions in the entire city.
Oh yeah, I remember the shop
Yeah.
incident.
Yes, yeah. I don't think we want a round 2 of that.
Yeah. Oh, that's fine. What? Yeah, no, that's fine. I was going to say, what about healers' kits or anything like that?
Just
No,
a
I've
note.
got a couple healing spells. I can just save it for just stabbing things and not like cast any bonus spells.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can cast Cure Wounds 3 times. So
Yeah, I've got Healing Word. I've got 4 spell slots for that,
that's a good
and I've
one.
also, if need be, I could can't. No. I've got Prayer of Healing, but it takes 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's more of like a mini short rest thing.
Yeah.
Does anyone have the message spell? Because that might be able to play that into.
Let me have a look.
What do you intend on doing?
Just a note, Lana, you cannot assume flying forms still.
Oh shit.
No, I'm
Oh, yeah.
pretty sure I can. It's a challenger for 0.
It's what?
The challenge rating of 0, so I should be able to.
No, I
there's a
think
limitation.
You need level 8 for flying speed.
Yeah.
Oof, that's a while. Do you know the polymorph spell?
That is a 4th level spell.
Is it 4th level? Oh shit, I thought it was. Oh, I was gonna say I thought it was 3rd level. We're only level 4. For some reason, I thought we were level 5. Yeah.
Nope, you need to be level 7 before you can cast polymorph.
Right.
Yeah, I knew there was a level requirement for druids to take flying forms. I just couldn't remember what it was, so that's why I was asking.
I have a very stupid idea. Lana, if you turn into a mouse, I'm pretty sure I could throw you like 60 feet in the air. And then you can scout for like 3 seconds, and then I could try and catch you again. But I don't think that's a
better
long
idea. Better idea. If she turned into a mouse, Shade could carry her.
I was about to say that. Yeah.
That's good.
A possibility.
They could leave her on top of a roof.
Or even just stay with her, carrying her, and then could like be way up high between the 2 towers, and whichever side started fighting first, they could go to the other side and alert.
Yeah. Message is barred, sorcerer or wizard, so
no, I haven't got any of them. All right.
No.
While we're discussing DM, along with the inks that allow me to translate some of the spells in the book, I would have spent some time trying to translate some of the spells, but just out of curiosity, how many spells would I been able to translate from the ink that I purchased?
How much time did you spend on that?
I would have probably used a portion of the night at least.
I've got something for the DM as well in a minute. Once you've sorted, Nick.
Right, I'm thinking possibly 1 or 2, but obviously I'm
Just
querying
checking.
additionally how much ink I would have had. I'm happy with just 1, but if I'm able to get off another, then that's great also.
So you could have done, let's say, you took 4 hours
So
in total.
two spells, yeah.
So you could have made 2 spells and mark off 100 gold worth of papers and ink.
Right, I already purchased the inks, and so that's fine.
Also, DM, when we came in, obviously Corridin recognised the room to be of dwarven make, possibly some kind of dwarven thing underneath the town. Would there be any possible underground tunnels or something like that could be more direct routes that possibly might lead to tower or something like that Corridin could find out?
Roll investigation with advantage.
And I will not use my crossbow this time.
Why is the dwarf shooting the walls?
Yeah. 21. I'm rolling good today.
So you're taking your time going around the room, touching the walls, looking around. You do find another door. As you go and open it, you see the bot looking at you like, what the? You assume he didn't knew there was a passage there. So you can see probably there is a way under the whole city, because you know the other house, the Geralt's house, is almost on the other side of the town. And you're like, there may be, probably they are underneath the whole city.
Would there be a way of me knowing navigation through the tunnels without I'm obviously not going to know the direct route?
The only thing you know is how deep you are, actually.
So it might not be worth trying to go from tower to tower via the underground. Could end up taking longer.
How tall are the towers?
As you see on the schematics of the towers, both of them are 3 floors high.
And I imagine the buildings around them would be no more than 2 floors.
Yep. Yeah, as you're commenting these things, you see the other 12 plus the bot starting to think of a plan. What will they do? At some point, he's like, you do realize that it's most likely to happen in the tower I'm sending you, because That's why I'm sending you there, actually.
There is one more thing we should take into account. After last night, there's a possibility of the negotiations between the Clasp and the Shade Watch breaking down and perhaps even becoming violent if they go bad enough. So we should be prepared to jump in if that does happen, because having the Clasp fighting on our side could be useful, at least in the short term.
I mean,
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
the idea was to jump into the negotiations because that's the only time we are able to see the leader of the Shades Watch.
DM. Also, obviously, where Corridon opened that door, is it like a long corridor? Are there any other doors or something coming off that possibly could have a look in?
If you go in here, you can go in. It's probably 30 more feet before it splits in two. But as it splits, you see doors on in both corridors. Uh, you see statues of dwarves. The corridors are wide and not too tall, but good 10 feet tall. You do recognize it as a dwarven underground city.
Okay. I will come back into the room and I will just whoever's closest to me, I'll just say that it seems like I found an underground city made by my kin. Might be worth to check it out once we're done with the Shades Watch.
If we must,
We could have could find some nice nice items. I mean, we dwarves are the best at making things.
We should
That's
definitely be careful, though.
Oh, sorry.
Places like we should definitely be careful, though. Places like that tend to have all sorts of nasty little surprises left behind.
Corridon will puff out his chest and say, "That's another thing we're good at." But it might be worth maybe having a look. By the looks on the face of the bard, no one really knows that this was here.
Shame we don't have time now, but
It is true, but we have a goal, and we must see it through.
oh, what is that noise?
all right. So we head to the tower. We wait until uh, can find some sign that we're in the right place, or we receive a sign that we're in the wrong place. Kaplana rides the raven as a mouse and alerts the group that's in the wrong place. Have I gotten anything wrong?
Seems a fair assessment.
Yeah. So are we wait until the deal has been finished?
Well, I can have Shade and Goplana up at the tower we intend to penetrate, making sure that we know what's going on there until we're ready. And then once we know, we can either alert the others and head up that tower, or we can head up the tower, deal with those, have Goplana and Shade warn the others at the other tower, and proceed from there.
Yeah. DM, there'll be windows obviously in this tower that possibly the Shade could look in with Goplana.
the bot looks at you and why can't this? Who is this shade?
This fluffy little thing, and I kind of tickle underneath Shade's beak.
Can he carry a message instead of a whole person?
Not a message. He's able to.
Well, if it's a written message, you probably could.
Well, yeah, he could. But he can imitate sounds.
Can he say wrong?
Sorry?
Can he say wrong?
Can he say wrong? WRONG.
And then I kind of look up at Shade and like tilt my head as if to say, "Go on." And I have Shade try and say wrong.
Well, because of the mimicry,
Mm-hmm.
you hear her saying wrong with the same pronunciation as the bot, but with this little crow-like sound added.
Yeah.
He's like, that works.
The meeting, it's likely to take place at the top of the tower, right?
The big room on the second floor.
Second floor, even better. There's likely to be more guards at the bottom than the top, I would say. So, why don't we scale one of the buildings nearby, and Jin will pull out a rope and grappling hook from his... Make our way in through the top.
Sounds like a good idea.
After last night, they might have positioned people on houses around.
Possibly, but still likely to be less well guarded than the front entrance.
True, true.
So as I say, so we're interrupting mid-meeting or just as it's finishing.
I think our best bet is either to wait until it finishes, then ambush the leaders of the Shade Watch as they try to leave, or or if we hear the sounds of fighting during the meeting, take that as our cue to rush.
Yeah. I wonder if there's a way that we could pit the two to get against each other even more.
I feel like we've already done all we can in that regard without making it obvious that somebody's trying to do so.
Okay. Well, I will go with whatever plan. But the plan that we've said so far, obviously, I'm ready for whatever. But other than that, I think the plan for, Shade to carry Goblana to check that the tower is on standby. So,
Well, if Shade can just tell the other group that they're at the wrong place, then she doesn't even need to have Goblana with her.
yeah, true. But either way, I'm ready. I'm down. Corridin's going to just walk towards the stairs leading up, and he's just going to be standing there.
What do you think, Goblana? Do you want to stick with us or go with Shade?
Well, if he can mimic, Shade's probably best going on his own.
So
I
But
just wanted to make sure.
down.
Would it be if we would be a man down, but if I went with Shade, I'd be there to at least start trying to kill whoever's there and help protect the people that are
That's
here
only
now.
that's only true if the other group is in the right place and not us. If we're in the right place, then that means even longer before you get to the fight.
That's true. How quickly does Shade fly? Would you say how long would it take Shade to fly to one side to the other?
What's
50 foot.
50.
Hmm.
And assuming dashing.
Assuming dash, probably two to 3 rounds.
Oh, that would be an effort.
So probably best for you to stick with us so that you're not out of the fight for like half a minute.
Yeah, plus I'm a bit squishy. I'm going to die if I stay there. Alright. Then I'll stay with you and we'll just send Shade.
Let's do this then. Get some scouting done before the meeting starts.
And do remember, we have to deal with the leader of the Shades Watch. This is the whole purpose
Yep.
of. If we, it might not be a good idea to wait until the end of the meeting. As your dwarven friend said, there's a whole city beneath the city. She might know her way through it.
True. Well, then
So
how
would it be
about
best? Sorry.
in that case we could sneak into the tower right away, and then if we can do so without alerting too much attention, we can keep an eye on the meeting and then either jump in as soon as things go south or ambush them before they can leave.
Would it be worth going straight from underneath rather than the top? Cut off their movement down.
It would be much harder to do it without drawing attention to ourselves, and
True.
if we had time to map the Undercity, that'd be one thing, but I highly doubt we'll be able to find an entrance to the bottom of the tower before the meeting's over, if it's taking place within a couple of.
I agree that we should try and at least figure out if there is a back entrance, because there's no point us storming the gates and planning for days on end if when we get there they just walk out the back door and we can't do anything about it.
If
So
I can get,
we need to find the entrance or exit on the other side.
yeah, if I can get there, it's close to touch the tower, I might be able to stone cunning, see possibly if there is something in there.
I'm pretty good at tracking and like survival stuff. So I would imagine I'm pretty good at like making my way around. Like obviously you'd know the historics and like how they would be laid out, but I think
Yeah,
Europe
you'll be able
would
to.
know quite a bit about like just remembering like the layout of a maze type situation.
Yeah,
So
which would come in handy.
that's a yeah, and Kega has that is good at tracking. She's got a racial feature that she can track really well, I think. So I
Okay.
could go down there, help you try and map out exits at least.
So yeah, if we do, as Jin says, go from the top, attack. If they do trying to leg it and go underground, we've got you and Kagan to track.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, okay. Let's go with the first thing then, through the top.
All right. So let's head to the tower so that we can start off by getting a scouting out a bit and see how well the rooftops are guarded around. So yeah, with that, Jin will head to the exit.
Yeah. I follow.
Okay, I'm guessing everyone's following.
Yep.
On your way out, the bot just turns around and good luck to you. And I hope it's in your tower. And he smiles with a big, pretty charming smile.
So much for the inspiration.
Yep. Let's see. One of you gets an inspiration, but definitely not Jin.
I was about to say, Jin had such a hard time not dropping a suggestion on him again before we left, just out of spite.
So let's.
But I might need it later, so.
It's on Coradin because he found out the dwarven city and the secret passages. So Coradin, you get a D8 inspiration in the next 10 minutes.
Okay, a D8 to attack is, or is it?
For everything but damage.
Okay.
Considering we're scouting things first, probably going to get used on a skill check.
Oh, definitely. I'm poor at everything.
Fingers crossed it gets used on a skill check.
Mm.
I mean,
Do I-
unless he nat 20s and doesn't need it.
Yeah. Do I declare it before a roll, or can I just say after? What is it? How does it work with?
I think it's
You can say it
before
after.
the DM says if it works or not.
Yeah, you can do it after you roll. You just have to say it before the DM gives you a verdict.
Okay. Cool. Let's go.
So yeah, we will head in the direction of the tower that we were assigned.
Okay, so it takes you 2 minutes to get near the tower. As he explained where exactly you need to go and turn, but you can actually see it from the street as you exit the house. Uh, Probably under 2 minutes until you get close, and by close I mean a block or two from it. Uh, you see this
So
3 stories high tower. You see already members of the Shades Watch guarding it, and they're probably right now they're positioning the whole security around it.
well, Cordon's the smallest, so we should probably boost him up onto one of the roofs first to get a lay of the land.
Yeah, sure.
See how well the rooftops are protected.
What if shade would be less conspicuous than a dwarf being pushed up onto a roof?
I don't know. I was feeling quite entertained by the concept of you going on a roof, but if you insist.
Dude, is Shade still with us? I thought you were gonna send her off to middle.
Oh, is she gone yet?
I thought we'd only just left.
We're
so-
just scouting. We're just scouting at the moment.
All right. I just assumed she would have been sent off first. That was my bad.
No, that's all right.
So yeah, I'll send Shade up and try and survey the area and see if there's like any kind of activity going on. Meanwhile, I'll grab Summer's shoulder as traditional style with this, and you'll see my head twitch back and my eyes slowly roll into the back of my head as I take vision.
I mean, you don't have pupils, so how do they see your eyes rolling?
Well, as they are typically yellow, from going yellow, they turn white.
Okay. So roll a perception check for Shade.
Mhm.
I think that's good enough.
21, not 20. 23, even.
Still a nat
Nice.
20 though.
Yeah.
You do see through Shade's eyes. There are already guards positioned as she circles around the tower and going up even higher. Sorry. You see guards positioned around. Around the tower itself. You can count probably 12 guards around the whole tower. You see guards being positioned in the streets around between the houses. You see a few guards on the top of the tower. There is a trap door that leads to the roof of the tower. You see some of them actually climbing the houses around. You can count for all the guards that are positioned right now. You can count probably around 20 plus dots.
Have we ever directly fought the Shade Watch before? We haven't, have we?
Not here.
No.
Nope.
No. So we don't really have a metric about how dangerous one member of the Shade Watch is. Like they could be a like metagame talk. They could be like a 20th level fighter for all we know. So obviously we don't want to go in all guns blazing without having a gauge for how dangerous an individual member might be.
Flip side of that is there's only one way.
Is
Yeah.
there are there any windows on the higher levels of the tower that we're intending on infiltrating?
There are windows on every floor of the tower. You can see there are windows circling around the hole.
Am I able to get a grasp of what I see from each window, or without shade acting conspicuous?
Okay, roll. So for her not acting conspicuous,
Yeah, so just like a regular bird rather than a bird that's clearly being controlled.
roll a performance check for shade.
Ooh. Okay.
Because it is not, she is not practically a bird.
No.
How much no?
Very no. The 6. I'd like to think she gets distracted by something.
No, that would be more bird-like. It's probably that she doesn't get distracted by something.
Let's
Staring
be
directly
more,
at the window,
be
making eye
more
contact.
bird-like. Let's say she just stares inside the rooms. Okay, you go to the first window you see. Let's say she comes from over the tower. So first you get a look into the third floor. There is an office-like room. There is one individual sitting there behind the desk and writing something. Looks like probably a report or something like that. Then she flies down to the second floor. You see a big room, just like the one that was shot in the schematics. 60 by 40, probably around that. Right now, there is a big table set in the middle of the room, and there is a desk a little bit on the side. You see behind the desk a green female dragonborn sitting, and she's also writing something. But you see her glance at Shade as Shade is staring at her.
If I witness this, I just kind of like go crazy and like caw and like kind of flap away.
You see a slight grin on the green dragonborn's face as Shade claws and flaps away from it, from the window.
Is obviously Nick's relaying this, or Macaliff's relaying this. When we hear Green Dragonborn, Corridon will look to Jin and like nod and say that's her.
Well, at least we've got our target.
for better visualization, uh, Michael, before Shade's flying away, you would be able to see she's wearing this dark, mm, black with purple robes. She does have a red sash, as every Shade's watch, but because she got up just before Shade flies away, you can see her body posture is more of a noble than of a peasant or a fighter or something like that.
Would you see any other weapon or something? Like any weapon or maybe a glint of armor underneath, would he?
No.
Just to reiterate, I can talk and relay information I see, but I can't hear them around me.
No,
So
that's fair
Macalif
enough.
wouldn't be
Yeah,
able to hear anything you guys are saying.
yeah. So you wouldn't have heard me say to Jin that that's her.
No.
Do you guys actually know what she looked like?
Just that she was a green dragonborn.
Right.
Question: can I roll something to see if I know the types of effects normally associated with green dragons and thus green dragons?
Type of effects.
Like red dragons breathe fire, blue dragons breathe lightning.
Roll an Arcana check because there are magical creatures.
Nope, I rolled a 5.
You know that dragons breed something. You're not sure what exactly do green dragonborn, all dragons breed, but it is something. It might be fire. You're not sure, but or maybe acid.
Well, we should be careful of which way she's aiming her mouth. I know dragonborn can breathe things like dragons do, but can't recall what green ones breathe off the top of my.
I'll just hold my breath.
I would say at this
Yes,
point.
that'll work so well against a face full of fire.
I would say at
Two
this
thumbs
point,
up.
Macalif has Shade kind of go more centrally to between the two towers and kind of sits there waiting. And
Okay.
Macalif brings his sight back so he can see everyone.
So are you going? So I take it you sent Shade to go let the other tower know they're at the wrong one?
I can do. I just wanted to confirm that you guys got all the information we needed. Did I miss anything?
Don't think so. We wouldn't know if you did, so.
From what you said.
There was the green dragonborn. I mean, she's green, right? That's good. No.
If that's our target, then that means we're at the right tower.
As far as I know, there is no other part of that is part of the shades. Not that I've heard.
Okay. Summer, hold me tight. And I place my hand on the back of her shoulder again and take form to have Macalif go to the others and say the key phrase that we said earlier about wrong, and have him repeat that to the bard.
You mean to have Shade do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Shade flies away. You don't see her anymore.
If we can get them to help us, then this will be a lot easier. We can have one group go in through the bottom, the other group go in through the top.
I have an image in my head of, I don't say the best way to go about it, but assuming we can attack from above, by however means, assuming we manage to stealth our way up the side of the tower or whatever the situation is, I have an image of us just like charging straight down, and for lack of a better term, the common folk surrounding the entrance, sort of slowing them down a bit, and then Jin, you just sort of, because obviously you're built for sniping, right? That's your whole thing.
Yes.
Yeah. And you're like on a distant rooftop, just picking off every person as they step out the doorway. And that way, if we miss them charging downwards,
Remember
then
the problem.
they come
The
out the
problem with
front.
that is if they've got a tunnel underneath the tower, they can escape out.
Yes, the secondary back door.
That's where
Unless you-
Jirak and Keegan would come in as well to obviously search, and with Corridin's stone thing to check any
If-
stuff.
Yeah, if
Right.
I go through the hypothetical basement from the underground tunnels, if we have like 2 people from the tunnels, 2 people from the front, 2 people from the top, I'm then worried if one of us encounters like an incredibly dangerous enemy who we together would all be fine. Like, not, I to become the leader of the Shade Watch, you have to be a pretty competent fighter, so, or combatant, I should say. And I don't think 2 of us could take down the leader of the Shade Watch. All of us, maybe, but
I agree. Otherwise, I'd be already up on the rooftop taking a shot through that window.
yes, yeah. So splitting up, we want to avoid splitting up like massively, avoid it as much as possible.
Yeah.
But maybe we could just use the common folk to sort of just plug the main entrance, so we only have 2 real entrances to worry about.
If they cause a distraction or something, like, because they said there's 12.
Right.
They're not very capable in their fighting abilities.
Yeah,
I do have one
a
more
meat
idea.
shield, for lack of a better term.
Well,
Yeah.
while
At
we're waiting
this
for them
point,
while we're waiting for them to show up, we may.
at this
Sorry,
point,
go ahead.
Lana and Jirak, with the corner of your eye you catch as as you're looking from time to time to the tower and to the entrance, you see 3 figures approaching. A female flanked by 2 males, one of which has a bandage over his shoulder. And you see them entering the tower.
Oh shit. That's the clasp.
Yep. How
Is
many
it?
how many people did we see on the roofs around the tower?
There were 12 around the tower, I believe, and 20 along the rooftops of the city.
I was thinking there's no way of disguising ourselves as Shade either.
Well, I can disguise myself, but not as. I don't think I'd be able to pull off a Shade Watch member.
Well, my thought was if there were few enough people on the roofs, we might be able to take one of them out and create a gap to get up on the roof, but it doesn't sound like that's an option.
The guards are spread through all the roofs around. They're not on a single roof. On the roof of the tower itself, there are 3 guards.
Yeah, I'm talking about the roofs around the tower, not the roof itself of the tower
Yeah,
itself.
there's 1 to 2 guards on every roof.
Perhaps it would be better. I imagine the guards on the roofs around the tower are mostly looking outward. So if we can get next to one of the buildings near the tower without being spotted, climb up and then take out those guards without alerting people, then we might be able to pull this off.
I mean, I am a dwarf in plate armor. I'm not going to be the stealthiest.
Well, if we wait until the other group shows up and starts their frontal assault, it'll be a lot easier.
How many are at the door of the tower? Because I could, I don't know, I could cast sleep.
Right now, there are only 4.
How many?
4.
Is there any windows that perhaps we could get into, like the first floor, that are not being watched?
You probably have to sneak around some guards, but you can get to a window that you can get in.
Okay. Just as an idea, if some of us can get into the first floor window, and then we can block off the stairway upwards so they can't run down and away from us. If we like split into 3 and 3, if one group, if the stealthier of us can like take out one group of people and get in a bit higher, and then the rest of us get in the first floor window sneakily, maybe we can have them cornered.
Yeah, I do have bardic inspiration as well, so that could with my sneak.
Well, we're gonna have to use that quickly because we're running out of time there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you guys suggest? I think climbing the tower is risky with all those guards looking.
Yeah, and if like the climbing doesn't go well, that's immediately like 20 feet of falling just to start off your day. That's not even that's before
Yeah.
combat's even started.
Obviously, Jin, if the windows are locked, you could probably obviously unlock them from the outside, possibly.
Give it a shot.
Yeah. Should we go through a window? Should we stealth it?
Probably our best bet at this point.
Yeah. So we go through a window. The best one that we can see would be the least viewed of them all.
So yeah, we probably want to go around opposite side of the front entrance.
Yeah.
If you do that, just an idea, I could possibly turn into a spider, get under the door into the tower, and then open it from the inside, so you don't have to worry too much.
Well,
Yeah.
if I can't pick the lock, that'll be our plan B. How's that sound?
Sounds a shout.
Okay.
Okay, I guess we
So, yeah.
make our way to as close as we can and let Jin do his thing and move in as quickly and as silently as we can.
Okay. Make a stealth check, all of you.
There we go.
It's a group check.
It's a
and
group.
You're with disadvantage because of the plate.
Oh, fuck.
But you do have the inspiration.
Mhm.
Yep.
Well, Jin got an 18.
My computer's doing a thing again. Hang on.
Do I use my bardic or do I leave it? I got 15.
I think at this point it's use it or lose it.
Yeah, I'll use it. Okay, I'll put a D8 on it.
Right, stealth.
That's a 20 for me.
Oh, fuck's sake. Alright, I'm a 16.
How am I not proficient in stealth? Why did I not pick stealth? Okay.
Yeah, we got some good rolls.
Kaga, however.
So for now, I got Jin, Makalit, and Coradin's rolls. What about?
Sorry.
Some are 16.
That's 16 for Corridon, yeah?
Yep.
Yep.
Cool.
Sorry, my
So-
computer's white screened. I'm getting there now.
So far, the lowest roll is a 14 from Jirek.
Yeah.
The professional hunter is the least stealthy person in the group, apparently.
I'm good at stealthing in the woods. These aren't the woods.
You're less stealthy than the dwarf in full plate.
Oh.
Yeah, the dwarf and half plates running around.
If they were wild animals, you wouldn't even see me coming, and they would be dead before they knew it.
Yes,
But
but is that because
you're
of
in
your
an urban
mountain
environment,
lion? Not because of you.
Alright,
Okay, so all of you actually managed to pass by a few guards.
That
You
turned
are
in.
next to the building. It was a group check, so you got only one fail. The DC was 15.
sweet.
So the average.
hide behind Kagan. That's how you manage it.
You sneak next to the closest house to the tower, on the back side of the tower, and you see two guards sitting there. They look a bit bored, just talking about some small talks, not noticing you.
What do you reckon?
2 guards might be a good time for that sleep spell you mentioned.
Okay. So I will. Corridor will cast sleep. Do you reckon first?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
What would you reckon? First or second level?
First level might be a good way to gauge their power. Second's more likely to get both of them.
Yeah. I'll do it at second level.
Okay.
God, that's terrible.
Yeah, that is.
That is fucking terrible.
Oh, 28 hit points
28,
worth of creatures
not
total.
bad. That's not bad. I'm pretty sure
Just
that would
only-
knock out some people in the party.
And if one falls asleep, we might be able to quickly get in and kill the
I've
other.
got I've got an idea for the other one, actually.
All right, cool.
You go. So we're counting this as a surprise round. Cordin jumps out of his stealth and casts sleep, and you see one of them going a bit dizzy but still awake. Just didn't manage to catch him. So what's everyone else doing?
I'm just going to stab him in the face with a spear.
Jin's going to look at the other one and say, I suggest you take the day off. Wouldn't want to have any lasting consequences. And I'm going to cast Suggestion.
Okay, that's a wisdom save.
Yep, DC 13.
Nope, he failed.
Because
So you see the other one as he's going to, still in his surprise, as he sees you, he's like, I think, yeah, I'll take the day off. And he just walks away in one of the alleys.
Okay,
love that spell.
Yeah, it's great. Well, so one of them's drowsy, but it might be worth just all fucking wail on him quickly.
Yeah, just knock him out. We don't need to kill him if we don't need to. Although we will probably in the very short future, so...
But is it one less guard to deal with if we can get him down?
So, Corridon and Jin did their turns. What are the others doing?
Can I try and hit him in the head with the blunt side of my spear?
Yep, roll
To get
attack.
that like push him over the edge to fall asleep.
Still with advantage because he still hasn't got his.
So many different ways to hit someone with a spear. Yeah, 23.
That hits.
Except obviously it's not piercing damage.
Yeah,
For
so
me,
10
just
bludgeoning.
bludgeoning.
Roll damage.
He rolled it, it was a 10.
As I
Okay,
hit him, I just go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, trying to smack him in the face.
You smack him to the temple with the back of your spear. He looks a bit dizzy, but he's still up. What's everyone else doing?
Corridor will look at Summer and be like, punch him.
I'm going to say I have something a little bit better in mind, and I'm going to take my spear and like choke him with it.
Okay, roll an athletics check.
Where am I? Athletics. That's 15.
Okay, you do manage to grapple him around and start choking him. What is your DC for your monk abilities?
My what?
Your monk DC.
Like 10 plus wisdom, I think.
At this level, yes.
Plus your proficiency as well.
Well, it's 8 plus proficiency plus wisdom, so this level would be 10 plus wisdom.
I'm very confused.
What's your wisdom modifier?
MM 4.
So your monk DC is 14 at this level.
Okay.
Okay, so you do manage to choke him till he's unconscious. He's not dead, he's breathing. His life is not in danger, but he's unconscious on the ground.
As soon as he's unconscious, Jin is going to go to the nearest window and start working on the wall.
Can we tie him up possibly? If he does come round, at least he's tied up and he's he might be one less person to deal with.
I have some rope that we can do that with.
Yeah.
Okay, whoever is trying to tie him up, make a dexterity check.
Can I help?
Yeah, you can aid yourselves.
Okay.
And then make a thieves tools check with dexterity.
23 for the thief tools. I am rolling really good today.
That's
Fuck.
good.
He's tied up.
Definitely
Yeah,
tied.
20 on the dex check.
Okay, you tie him up like a donut. I mean, you tie his hands behind his back to his ankles, and he's left there lying unconscious and tied
He's
up
gagged as well.
and gagged.
Yeah.
With the same rope. So while you're tying him up, you see Jin just take out his small tools and take the thinnest one and work his way under the window, between the window and the wood underneath it. And pretty hard in your opinion, but he looks like he's not giving a fuck. He just makes two moves with his wrist, and you hear the window, and it opens.
As soon as I get the window open, Jin's going to turn to the rest of the group and, with a deadpan expression, say, "Do you ever get the strange feeling that things are going too?"
Nope, never. And I'm gonna like try and jump up and get into the window.
Corridon will kind of look at Jin as if to be like, you might have a point.
Okay, as you go in through the window, you see the window is on a set of stairs leading down. You see it's not too high, but you see straight in front of you a door leading somewhere inside the tower. You
Well,
jump on
looks
the-
like we were right about there being a basement.
Would it be worth having a quick look down?
Probably a waste of time at this point.
Okay. What about before we even move? We're just inside that area. What if about any traps?
I'll take a quick look around for that.
I do have a find trap spell, but I'd rather not use the second level slot.
Investigation.
Want to give me a hand with that?
Yeah.
If before you do, if you're worried about traps, I can use. Oh no, I
Sorry,
can't.
what was that?
I can use Mage Hand if that helps for traps.
We'll see what we find first. I have to find them, or else that's useless. 22 investigation.
Okay, you find no traps, but the door is locked. The one leading presumably to the first.
Okay.
No traps, but I'll get to work on this.
It'd be worth looking through. Are we able to look through the keyhole and see what's on the other side, or?
Now might be a good time for that spider trick that Kaplana
Mm.
mentioned.
Yeah, so I was thinking.
I will transform into a spider and scuttle my window.
And I will start picking the lock while she does that.
So roll the thieves to check for the door. Gaplana, as you enter, underneath the door, you see this is the entrance.
Oh, what? Sorry, muffled.
It's the entrance hall of the tower. You see a pretty wide space. It's not as big as the room on the second floor, but you see stairs going up. You see a few other doors and a big desk. A weapon rack on both sides near the walls. And behind the desk, there is one of the Shades Watch just sitting there, feet on top of the desk. Just, you're not sure if he's taking a nap or not. I mean, he has a hat that is over his face. You do not see any other Shades Watch inside.
I got a 24 on the Thieves' Tools check, by the way.
With these, this is a pretty simple lock. So you go just with 2 moves, and it's open.
I am going to leave the door closed, though, until either Kaplana returns or we hear commotion on the other side.
Okay.
Can I go a bit closer to see if he is actually asleep or not?
Roll a stealth check for the spider.
Spider. Let me just get the deck stuff up for it.
I swear, if you nat one this,
I might cry.
the spider suddenly knocks over a chair.
Okay. So
That
stealth.
would be +2 to what you rolled.
+2. Okay. So it'd be a 19.
19. Okay, you get pretty close. You actually do climb on him without him noticing you. And you hear him just...
Okay, I'm gonna go back to the guys on the other side of the door and turn back into a human and tell them what I just saw. And he's asleep.
You know, we might be able to deal with that guard easily if he could turn into a spider again. Just climb into his mouth, down his throat, and then turn back into a human. Problem solved.
Oh God.
Oh no.
See this done.
Morally, as a player, I object to that.
Corridor will kind of look at you, just eyes wide, as if to be. That's pretty good.
Can I just be the first to say no?
I mean, if you want to do things the hard way.
He's asleep. Why I can cast pass without a trace on us, and we can just sneak by him without any problem.
I'll look and go, but it would be pretty cool.
Oh, you're all paying for my cleaning bill if I do this.
Corridor will say, yeah, sure.
Oh no.
For a man of the cloth, you seem to have a wicked sense of humour.
We could just kill him. We don't need to do it in this absolutely horrible fashion. Like,
I'm not being
just
funny.
walk in and stab him. We don't have to tear his fucking throat out.
My cleric might be a man of the cloth, but he does use necromancy and stuff like that, so he's not bothered.
And Jin is literally evil. He made that suggestion with a perfectly straight face.
Oh,
Corridor will pull out his coin purse, just hold it up. It's there.
let it be known.
I'll give you 50 gold.
Let it be known. I hate you all, and I'm going to scuttle back under the door.
Renegade for life.
Oh, oh no. Okay. Yeah, sure. I'll scuttle down his throat. Why not?
Holy hell.
Yes.
This is going to all say all different shades of wrong.
You did say we was the evil people like, at one point, Nick.
Wait, are we the bad guys?
I will also, when you come back, I will give you 50 gold.
Okay, so roll me another stealth check.
Oh.
Oh god, this is when I not run this. Hey, 19 again.
Okay, you do manage to get on his face, literally. Are you going in?
Yeah, sure. Good
Okay,
of the
you
team.
wait for
Good of the team.
for the right moment when he opens his mouth a bit more, and you enter in, going down his throat. All of you hear him start coughing. Make uh that would be probably strength saving throw,
A strength. Oh god.
as he's trying to puke you out.
I
It
think
might
my
hurt
strength
you.
is a minus. Oh, good, it is.
It's for the spider, so it's a -4 to whatever you roll.
That's worse than mine. Oh no. Okay.
I don't think
No.
druids even get proficiency.
Oh.
No proficiency.
Oh no.
That's a 6.
That's a 6.
Before or after the -4?
That's after the -4.
Okay, you feel you've been tucked out as he's coughing, and the stream of air that he's producing is pushing you out. You have a
Transform now.
reaction-
Transform now.
Yeah, I'll transform
You have-
into a human and just stab him with my dagger.
You transform back into your human form.
While you're still in the mouth.
Oh god, yeah, sure.
Okay. So the others hear the coughing, and then you hear and there's this weird sound of splashing.
And Jin will take that as his cue to
Planet.
open the door.
You, as you transform back into your human form, you feel pretty squished at the start. It hurts. But the next moment you hear the same splashing sound, and you tumble over his body, falling down with the chair, taking a little bit of false damage. 5 false damage because you were actually crushed inside him.
5, yeah.
But you find yourself over his headless body, and you see remnants of his head all around the room. And you're covered in blood and puke and brain stuff, and probably, yeah, a lot of things.
Corridin,
Jin,
we enter in the room now, and he will put 50 gold into your hand. Then with a grin, pull out his blanket and hand it to you to start wiping yourself.
I go over to the corpse and close its eyes and try and give it the most respectful rest I can,
There is no
given the state of the body.
Macalif will look at Summer and say, have you ever witnessed anything like this before?
Jin
No,
will just
but I
applaud
tell you what,
softly.
that was amazing.
Gonna
I'm gonna
grumble.
I'm gonna bow deeply and be like, "Good job, good job."
You know, Goplana, with skills like that, I could introduce you to some people that pay very, very well.
Yeah, I think once is enough in a lifetime for that. It's just gonna continue wiping all the blood off of me. Just grumble to myself.
I'll just think on it.
I might get back to you on that.
Jin, roll an intelligence check.
Alright. $18.
You do. A thought catches your mind that this whole thing created a bit of noise. So it might be good to lock the front door.
Perhaps we should lock this door.
Jin will head over to the front door and see if it's as simple as just locking it or if he needs to do anything fancy.
No, there are few. What do they call them? These metal pins that
Bolts?
bolts. Yeah, there are a few bolts that you can lock the door with, and there is a
I will
key
go
on
ahead and do that then. I will also take the key after locking in.
Okay. So you're in the foyer of the tower.
Okay. We need to make our way up.
You hear someone trying to open the door.
No answer.
You hear muffled speech behind the door from the outside.
Lana's gonna run up to the door.
Bit busy in here. It's fine. Don't worry. We're all good.
Nothing's happening.
Roll-
Go back to your station. Charm person.
Roll deception check.
Can I give Lana advantage because I don't want to roll? It's very poor charisma.
You initiated the thing, so you will roll it with advantage because she chimed.
Unfortunately, I think you have to be able to see the person to cast Charm Person.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Oh no.
Till down and have a look.
Well, if whoever's reading saying it, if it rolls high enough, they just tell him that it's all orders of. We do know the Shade Watch leader's name, don't we, DM?
As they're all floundering, Jin's just gonna slam a fist against the door and say, "Get back to your post unless you want to deal with the bossers."
What was the deception check?
He never rolled it. You did have advantage.
Do it again.
$19.
Nice. And Jin, roll an intimidation check.
Alrighty. $15.
Okay, between the two of you, you hear, yes, okay, okay. We're going back, okay.
Again, I know what I put expertise in.
Kaidin's going to make his way towards the bottom of the stairs and just wait with shield forwards. Ready to ascend.
Whoever's stealthiest amongst us should probably head up first, and the rest wait at the bottom to charge up his back.
Okay.
I can do pass without a trace as well, because that will help us.
Please do that.
Certainly
I'll
can't
go
hurt.
first then, I guess.
Oh, if we're all going up with pass without a trace, well, it might help.
So who's going first?
Me.
No.
So it's 33.
Okay,
Jin
you
will-
go
Jin
up.
Sorry, go
and
ahead.
you see a corridor alongside the stairs. There are two guards in front of a door. And you see at the end, you're at the right end of the corridor. Because the stairs are on the right. And you see in the far left end, there are another set of stairs leading leading to the third floor. There is only one door on this floor. And there are two guards in front of it.
I'll just quickly turn around and just say I can see there's stairs leading up further to the third floor, but at the moment there is one door here, and there's two guards guarding it. What's our plan of action?
Jin will come up behind Makalith and say, we should probably take them out as quietly as possible. That way we can hopefully observe what's going on in the room without the occupants being any of the...
Sure. Thing is, I'm not stealthy with quiet attacks. Most of my attacks are quiet. I do, however, have a dagger.
Well, your sister, Makalith, gave me an idea earlier, and Jin is going to detach the string from his hand crossbow and wrap the ends around his hands. Hopefully I'll be able to take care of one of them.
Nice little garrote.
So,
I mean, I've got a crossbow. I don't know how loud that would be, though.
Might be
If
able to
they
put the
missed.
other one to, might be able to put the other one to sleep before he can raise the alarm.
I have a light crossbow, but out of the
I
two,
could roll it. I could roll sleep first level. After someone's possibly shot him, reduce his health.
If we time it right, one person takes a shot, another person puts them to sleep, then I'll rush up and try to garrote the other.
What about someone else? Has someone else got something ranged they could do?
I've got a short bow.
Yeah.
But I'm not like it's more of a necessity than anything else, but I can use it.
It might help. You never know if you hit them, might lower them down. So if I say I'll sleep at level 1 until Makalith and Durak hit 1, that would leave the 3 of you guys to, if need be, subdue the last one, or just and possibly, if need be, finish off the other one.
I assume you two are like side by side, either side of the door, right?
Yeah.
would I? Oh no, it's lightning damage. That's definitely loud. Yeah, no. Okay, well, I can use a crossbow. I have a light crossbow.
The only problem I can think of is crossbows and bows, while quieter than my main weapon, are not silent.
True, it does give a bit of a twang.
So perhaps it'd be best if I got into position first and tried to take out one, and then the rest of you act if the other one notices.
Yeah, because you're stealthed at the moment, aren't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm thanks to the pass without a trace, I'm at 35.
I'll hold my dagger to throw if the other guard reacts.
Let's just remind you that stealth is not invisibility.
No, sure.
Yes. Which brings up my next point. Anybody think they can dim the lights in here a bit?
I can use thermatage.
I've got what have I got? I've got produce flame. I'm assuming that I can dim it as well.
No.
No, shed light. Never mind.
Prestidigitation is what we need.
I'll use well, as I say, I have thermatage that I can lower the
Traumaturgy
light
does the
slightly.
work also, but it still has a verbal component.
Yikes.
Before we even roll for something, I could use guidance cantrip up to 3 people. We'll get a D4. Oh, no, it's an ability check. No, don't worry. Not bad. I could do bless, actually. 3 creatures, they'll get D4 to attack rolls. Or save and throw. Do you reckon?
That may be useful.
Okay. So who's Jin,
I'm
Macalith?
holding my attack if the other one reacts to Jin's offensive attack.
I have a question. Shut up, Cat. Could I use, where am I? Disguise self if I haven't seen someone?
No, you need to know you need to know what they look like.
What if someone describes to me what they look like?
You'll be filling in a lot of gaps.
Yeah. I think this is more time sensitive now.
You should.
Yeah.
You could probably disguise yourself as the guard downstairs that has no head.
You did saw him with the head, so yeah.
No, I was thinking of disguising myself as this dragonborn woman or person.
They'd be coming from the same floor.
Only Macalith can disguise like her.
Yeah. I would say
right, who's attacking one?
Well, if that's not a bad shout, if Summer distracts one of them disguised as the individual downstairs.
Yeah.
Jin, this is your offense. What do you think? Your audio's not coming through, Jin.
It's not, yep.
Testing. How about now?
That's it. That's
Go.
fine.
Sorry about that. I think at this point our best bet is speed. We don't have a reliable disguise or deception, so we might just have to risk the sound the bows and crossbows make.
Well, in that case, let's get on with it.
Right, so I'll cast bless on Jin. Who else is going to go and attack as well? Because obviously I'm going to cast this on you, and then when we get up there, I'm going to cast sleep.
Will it be me?
Right, so you you, Jin, and anyone else. I've got up to 3 people.
Who's going to be shooting at him?
Jirak, you said you might be doing it, didn't you?
Yeah, I can do shooting, but I'm not like I'm gonna say I'm not massively good at it. But that's like I said, it's a last resort. I'm not particularly dexterous. So if there's someone else who's better at shooting than I am, give it to them. If I'm like just the next best, I'll have it. Yeah, sure.
Okay. I'll give it.
Actually,
yeah.
How about you lend me your bow? I'll give this string to Summer because she's stronger than I am. We'll have better luck with it. How about we do it like that?
Sure. Yeah. I wasn't even planning on using the short bow, so
I'll give it back once I'm done. Not my
Okay.
preferred method.
it's only a family heirloom.
So, so it's Jin, Macalif, Summer.
Yeah.
Okay. Jin, Macalif, Summer now have bless.
You said it was a short bow, right?
Yep, it's a short bow.
All right, so are we shooting the one on the left or garroting the one on the left?
Closest, I would say, if you garroting, it'd be the closest shot, I'd have said.
All right, so the sleep and the shots will go at the one on the that's further away.
Yeah.
We just need to make sure we're coordinating this.
Yeah. So once you two have done your, whoever's done the attacks, the shooting, I will then cast sleep.
All right. I will line up a shot and wait to see if anybody else is going to be joining me before release.
So what is it? Athletic was it last time that I've used?
Yep. With the plus
Is it
10,
just a normal roll?
I'm pretty sure with the plus 10 on stealth you can sneak up to them. No, all your athletics is with advantage because he's not expecting it. As are the 2 shots.
All right.
Natural 20 on 2.
Natural 20 on the athletics and natural 20 on Jin using the short bow.
And the and Macaliter attack.
Where is it?
Remember, you do have advantage.
Yep.
Do I get advantage on my sleep?
No.
I don't think you're going to need it.
Hopefully, you didn't see my roll. You saw my roll last time.
Oh, that was a 19. It was almost 3 20s in a row.
Okay. So do you do your damage and then I'll cast?
I almost wish I'd activated my Crimson Right for this.
Yeah, you could have just killed him in one.
Okay, what's the damage on the 2 shots?
Ugh,
Jin,
horrible
you got
damage
the
rolls.
first attack.
14 piercing damage total.
With the critical.
Yeah, I rolled terribly on damage.
Okay, 14.
2 1s, a 2, and a 3.
Makalit.
4 piercing damage.
Oh, the 14 was taken into account. Mine was only 10.
14 is the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, both of you pierce one god as Summer
Actually, wait.
tries to poke the other.
Magalith, you did strength for the damage on yours, not dexterity.
Did I?
Yeah. So it should be 15 total, not 14.
Yeah.
Okay, 15.
Sorry.
And then I'll
Summer
cast.
is choking the other. He's still standing, but his throat is closed, so he cannot yell right now.
And
Because he did say-
sorry,
Uh,
and then I'm gonna
and
cast
the
sleep.
thing is- Go for it.
Right. $24.
That's better.
That is a lot better. 5, 5, 5, 8, and 2.
Okay, the one that got shot falls immediately asleep. Yeah. He's actually snoring. The other one is still hanging to the thread on his neck, but he cannot yell right now. He is considered grappled.
We'll have to try and gag him again.
I mean, he's still conscious.
Jin's gonna draw his rapier and approach that guy.
First, the others should take the turn because.
Oh
this is
yes,
the-
surprise.
True.
Oh
this is
yes,
the
surprise.
Lana, Jirak.
I'm just letting them do their thing. I'm not very stealthy. I'm gonna wait till like big fight starts out, and then I'll start rolling dice.
Well, he's
I have a
one's
big
asleep
range
and one's
of-
grappled, so you could go in and smack him like.
But if he's got the thing around his neck, then
Yeah, but
Well-
he could try and break free of that in a moment here. So
So you try and.
now's the time to do something if you can.
Yeah.
okay. Mate, I'll just try to stab him with the spear. That's the classic move.
You do get advantage because he's grappled.
I'm gonna try and do it like as quickly and painlessly as possible. Seeing how these people. Oh fuck. Never mind.
Unfortunately, you weren't one of the ones that got blessed. So
Hmm.
Gaplana, you got anything?
Wait, what was the attack roll?
13 with advantage.
13 still hits.
Oh,
Oh.
all right.
Never mind then. Go me. 12 piercing damage.
Okay, 12 piercing damage. He's still hanging, but you hear him a little bit of blood spits from his mouth as you take out the spear from his torso. Goplana?
Can I just go up to him and stab him with my dagger? Yeah, that's the easiest thing.
I feel kind of proud, but also a bit like I have a feeling that they're rubbing off in a bad way. You just tore a man's face off from the inside out, and now you're going to try and slit some guy's throat.
Very easily influenced.
Also, it's
incredibly
currently covered in
susceptible to
blood
peer
and
pressure.
Hey,
in a bad mood. There we go.
hey, if it's any consolation, Jin wholeheartedly approves.
That does not make it any better.
Not really.
I mean, she made 50 gold from it.
I
Maybe to
did.
put that 50 gold on.
That was one of the main reasons. Not gonna lie. In fact, can I thorn whip him and if it succeeds, have him slam against one of the walls? Because he gets pulled 10 foot in one direction, right?
Well, it'll certainly make the garrote dig in deeper, if nothing else.
Let's go with that.
Try.
Give it a go. Is it a normal roll or is it?
You still have advantage because he's grappled.
Oh, please don't fuck me. Roll 20. You're joking me.
Oh, you didn't get a +2 to Thorn Whip. You have to. Surely you had your wisdom to
Yeah.
that as well, didn't you?
What's your wisdom modifier?
My wisdom is
Unless it's +6. I don't
a plus
think it's gonna
4.
hit.
So yeah, it's still only 11.
Damn it.
11 exactly hits.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh. Sweet. They really are just thugs.
They're just normal
was
guys wearing
close.
clothes.
So close.
Oh my god.
1 point of piercing damage.
How can I get 19s
Do you
twice?
add? You surely you add wisdom to that.
Nope. It's a
Nope.
cantrip.
Really? Jesus.
I do have him slam against the wall if he's getting pulled 10 foot, right?
Yeah, you pull him, pin him to the wall. As what was that? The grasping vine?
Thorn whip.
The
Which
thorn whip.
actually, that pulls it 10 feet closer to you, I believe.
Can I step out the way quickly?
You get him in the
I'm
wall
sure
frame.
you're more than 10 feet away from him.
Yeah, you're probably more than 10 feet. But yeah, as it pulls him, someone is still holding the thing around his neck. Someone wrote a strength saving throw.
I'm hoping we're about to hear a cracking sound.
It's either that or it slices the head off like cheese wire. 15.
That's enough. You do hear a slicing sound and then a crack as the body falls limp, escaping from someone's hands. But you see the throat cut to the point where you can see the bones of the neck inside. He's pretty dead.
Jin is going to rush up to the door and put his ear against it to see if there's any commotion on the other side that indicating people might have heard.
Roll a perception check.
Whilst he's doing that, can Corridin, if anyone wants to help me, tie up the guy sleeping?
Perception is the only thing I'm rolling badly on today. That's an 8.
You hear a few voices talking, but you cannot make up the words.
All right, well, nobody's
not
like
like there's
shouting and
commotion.
yelling. That's a good sign.
you're tying up the guy?
Corridin tying up the other guy.
Yeah.
Okay, roll dexterity check whoever is tying him up
With advantage. Dexterity. Is it just a straight dexterity one? Yeah.
Straight dexterity, yeah.
– 12.
Okay, he's tied up.
Okay. Is there anything on him quickly that could possibly we could take? You find something useful, another weapon or something?
Well, they have scimitars.
They have what? Sorry.
One of them has a scimitar, the other one has a mace. And they do both have heavy crossbows.
Jin will go ahead and collect up some of their crossbow bolts for use with his hand crossbow. Just probably like 3 of them.
Than the hand crossbow bolt.
Sorry, what?
The bolts for the heavy crossbow are bigger.
Oh, okay. Player's handbook doesn't make any distinction. That's why I didn't think about that.
Yeah, it makes
Yeah,
sense.
usually
Heavy crossbows huge.
there are different arrows for the short and the long bow, and for the different heavy for the different crossbows.
Fair enough. I am going to take one of the strings off one of the heavy crossbows to use as a garrote later, though, so I don't have to keep unstringing my hand.
You can do that.
I'm sorry to say, I might have to go in a sec.
Yeah.
This seems like this seems like it's right before a big fight, so it might be a good place to pick up next time.
Yeah.
I'm okay with stopping here.
At the moment, Bless. Remember, next time that Bless will still be on Macalith, Jin, and Summer because it's a concentration.
There you go. Written it there so we won't forget. Mm.
Right, that's cool. Well, a good session.
That was fun.
That was actually.